Are you looking to buy a house in Massachusetts in the next 3, 6, 9 months? And you're thinking about using a buyer's agent, but you're not quite sure if you should? We're going to give you one big reason why the right buyer's agent can be worth their weight in gold. My name is Justin Rollo. I've been a real estate broker for over a decade here in Massachusetts, and today we're talking about the value that a buyer's agent can bring you. I know buyer's agency has been in the news nonstop really since last spring, and we're starting to get through the new settlement. We're starting to figure our way out. But one main area that a buyer's agent can really make your home search or your investment property search more effective and ultimately potentially find your dream home that you would have never found is by simply that, bringing you opportunities that are not on MLS. And we can do this a couple of different ways. One is the old-fashioned way, which is just straight networking. All right, I have been a broker for over a decade, and in that decade, I have met hundreds of other agents. We've fostered relationships with other agents. We have done transactions with other agents, and in that time, you grow relationships with those people and you ultimately know who specializes in what. And if you have a buyer that comes through that's looking for something, you know who to reach out to. And even if you don't know exactly who to reach out to, you know how to research to find out who the person is to talk to, right? So if we have a buyer looking for a multifamily in South Boston, I have a subset of people that I would reach out to see if they have anything coming that is not on the market publicly that could be sold. So that drums up new opportunities for my client that other people wouldn't have. The other way to do this is a little bit of a new way that we use very often, and we have had great success with it. And that is to sit down with your buyer and do a full consultation. We're going to get a very specific criteria of what that buyer wants in their next house. And then what we're going to do is we have a couple of data providers. We are going to search for every property that exists that matches that buyer's criteria. We're not just looking on MLS at properties that are for sale. We're not looking at expired listings. We are looking at every single property that exists that matches that buyer's criteria. And then we are going to save that list. This really works tremendously well when we have between, let's say, 500 and 1,000 properties that match criteria. If it's less, you're going to have a little bit more variance where it might not work, but it's still worth doing. It works really well if somebody's looking in a specific condo complex or if they're looking in a specific neighborhood for a specific kind of property. So we're going to pull that entire list. We're going to send it into another data provider that we have that is going to append phone numbers to all of the potential owners of all of those properties. And then we have an outreach team that we will send that list to. They are going to reach out to that entire list and they're going to call them with a simple question, which is, "Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner. Would you be open to entertaining an offer on your property at 123 Main Street?" This is going to generate more leads than you actually would think because it's surprising how many people would actually consider an offer. Some of them are not going to be realistic, but let's say out of 100 people, we get 3 or 4 people that say yes, which is a totally realistic number. So 3 or 4 people say yes, maybe 2 of those are unrealistic, and now we have 1 to 2 real opportunities at or below market value for our buyer that would not have existed otherwise. This is a huge, huge way that a buyer's agent can add value to a buyer by giving them more options. And maybe they don't have to buy one of those off-market properties, but it's an extra data point for them to see another house for sale in the neighborhood they want, and it allows them to know even better when they find the property that they really like. It allows them to fall in love with a property because they've seen enough, and it gets them to that place sooner. So this is a super, super valuable thing that a buyer's agent should offer. And if you are interviewing a buyer's agent or talking about buyer's agency with an agent, ask them point blank, how are you going to get me opportunities before they are on the MLS? If they don't have a good answer for that, or they don't have a track record of doing that, it might be worth talking to other people, because in today's day and age, with all of the information available online, this is the single most valuable thing that a buyer's agent can bring to a buyer. Until next time, that's going to be it. If you have any comments, drop it in the comment section. Click subscribe on our YouTube channel for more videos like this. We'll talk to you soon.